Hi guys, I'm Melissa Keenan. I am CEO and owner at Coaching with Melissa Keenan. I am hesitating because I always want to make sure it actually is live. Okay, let me start over. I'm Melissa Keenan. I'm CEO and owner at Coaching with Melissa Keenan, and I help women and couples create the intimacy of their dreams. So, hi, nice to meet you. If you're new here, if you haven't ever come on to one of these lives, it's nice to meet you. If you're watching this live or watching it in replay, I'd love to hear who's watching, where you're watching from. Say hello in the comments. So I tread lightly in this subject of trust, and I shared a lot. I've shared a lot in emails this week. I've shared a lot of posts this week about the different things I've been through, because I know, like, there were many, many times of my life where I would be like, don't talk to me about trust. You have no friggin' idea what I've been through. And so I wanted to actually speak to the heart of that woman, who's like, don't tell me about trust. You've got a perfect marriage, you've got a perfect life, or whatever. And I want you to know, like, that hasn't been the case for me. And so it really is a powerful thing for me to sit here today and share with you about trust. Hi, Angela. Hi, Angela. And I just got to connect on a call last night for the first time, on a collaboration call. She does powerful work for women with going through menopause. So I'm super excited about her being in this space. Thanks for joining, Angela. So I did get some questions, and I'll be responding to some of the questions that I've received, and some of the things that I've seen people bring up in the group. No names, of course, nothing like that, but I want to speak to where you're at with trust, and I want to share, I think, a depiction of how amazing this actually can look. And I'm going to just say it all like it is. Okay. I'm going to start with a personal story about my husband and I. And I want you to watch this through the filter of what could be possible for me. That's what I want you to listen to this story through, that filter. What could be possible for me? I'm going to invite you to let down your guard a little bit as you listen to this story. Okay. If possible. I've really been debating, do I share this story or not? I've been debating this for about a week and a half now, but I feel like I really need to share it because it's powerful. My husband and I both have been really against getting the vaccine. We've been against getting the vaccine for ourselves and for our children, and we certainly have lots of reasons, and I could go into all those things, but there's not the time and space for that. I totally have respect for those who have felt to get the vaccine, who feel very strongly in the opposite. And maybe I have a gift for that, because I've noticed a lot of people aren't capable of seeing the other side of things. And I just have a lot of empathy for the division that has been caused, because there's so much hurt and so much fear on both sides. So, oh, I've got somebody messaging through that they can't see this. Give me a moment here. Hopefully this helps her. So, but something happened. Actually, my husband is way more intuitive than he would ever give himself credit for, and he had a dream, and in his dream, he felt like God was speaking to him, and there was a softening of his heart. And he woke up from the dream, and he said it was like he was arguing, but it was like God was making these points, and it softened his heart about the vaccine. And I said, well, what were the points, And he said, I can't remember. And dreams are kind of like that, right? Like maybe we're receiving like all these upgrades. I like to think in my sleep, I'm receiving like all these like, energy healings, and that like my ancestors are just working on me, or that I'm like out doing amazing things with my spirit or something while I sleep. And then I wake up and I don't remember most of it, but I get little tiny snippets of pieces that are supposed to help me in my journey, in my actual mortal journey. That's what I like to think about sleep. So I'm like, okay, he wasn't permitted to remember the points. He wasn't permitted to remember. Otherwise, he would have remembered them, and so he could share them with me. I'm very spiritual. Anybody who knows me knows I'm very spiritual. So I was perplexed because I hadn't received any of that. And I'm like, I'm praying about this all the time too. Like, why haven't I received any of that stuff, And and ultimately what came forward was my husband said, I really feel like both of us should be vaccinated. And he didn't have any logical points to give me. He had logical points that he was kind of starting to create for himself. None of them actually really mattered to me. I was sort of like, none of those points really like speak to it for me. But it didn't matter, because what mattered was I could feel something deeper was happening here. And so I kept going back to God in prayer and asking, and what ultimately I wasn't getting any answers. I was like, I don't understand. But when I finally asked this one question, then I knew what I was supposed to do. I asked, are you not answering me? Am I not able to access an answer because I'm supposed to trust my husband's answers in this situation? And I got a yes. And so last week I went and I got the vaccine, the first shot of the vaccine with my husband. And I don't know that it had anything to do with COVID or anything to do with vaccines or politics, or pretty much all my stances are the same in regards to all that stuff. But I looked into his eyes while I got shot in the arm, and there was a deeper layer of trust there than has ever been. And that's what it's all about, right? In relationships, there will always be another layer, right? So when you start out, you think, I trust this person with everything. You don't even know what you don't know. You don't hardly know anything. Oh, I was 20. I didn't know a dang thing. I didn't know enough about life to know what I trusted and didn't trust. I just had an open heart, right? And then as you learn things, you're like, oh. And as they learn things, like, oh, we start to add these layers of either discomfort and distrust or trust. And it's interesting how we start to build up walls in our relationship. Certainly there are big things, right? Which we've also been through, where massive trust is broken. It's become so shaky, broken down to the point that you just feel terrified. Like, what can I trust? I can't even trust anything. Hi guys. I'm just seeing these comments now. Hi, thanks for sharing in here, you guys. Yeah, God is never wrong, right? I knew I had to trust my answer and trust my husband. And I've been hesitant to share that story because I feel like in our day and age, there's such a strong feminist movement that it's like, I think a lot of people would hear that story and think that I'm some sort of dumb sheep that's just like, can't think for myself, can't get answers for myself, totally vulnerable to being hurt and, whatever. And all of that's true. Another piece of that was really interesting for me was I have followed him on other things like this, where I didn't necessarily agree. One time we moved into an apartment, I didn't love it, but he was very adamant about it and I let it go. I was like, okay, but you want to bet when that apartment turned into a bad situation, what do you think was the first thing I did? I was the first one to be like, this was your decision. That was not real trust. Like I was lying to myself. So in this situation, I was like, no, I don't want that. So I spent about a week in prayer and asking God to clean my heart so that I could own my decision to follow my husband. So like if I died because of the vaccine or something, right? Like if something really tragic happens because I made this decision, there's no blame. There's none of that because there was literally full trust. So we talk about these layers of trust, right? It resonates, right? Yeah, exactly. We want to trust, but then it's like, well, this was your idea. Like, and I didn't want that. I wanted to show up with a clean, pure heart, clean, pure intention. So what are the barriers that keep us from having this level of trust? I mean, like maybe you're listening to this story thinking, I would never trust my husband at that level because he's proven to me that he's not trustworthy. That's a legitimate thing. And we were in that position for many, many years as a legitimate concern. What the heck am I supposed to trust in then? And Melissa's over here telling me that being in trust and experiencing trust and even embodying trust is going to help me be my next level self. It's going to help me be more my true self. What am I supposed to do? Let's speak to this. Right? Have you guys had those questions? Like I know trust is a virtue. I know that God doesn't have trust issues. So there's some part of me that's never going to have trust issues, but how in the heck do I access that here in this human condition where everybody's broken and I have been hurt? People have double crossed me, my relationship, he's hidden things, even little things. I remember having a conversation with my husband where it's like, if you tell me that you're going to commit to taking out the garbage and then you don't, that makes me want to trust you less. Right? Does anybody relate with that? What are those little things that still happen that bring up trust issues? I want to bring this in because several of you shared a few of these things, and I really appreciated the openness. Trusting babysitters. Delegating. Delegating requires trust. It's tough, right? It's like, okay, well, maybe I trust, at this level, but like to trust somebody with my business, to trust somebody with my heart, to trust someone during sex, like we all have a condition, right? Yeah, house projects. He says he's going to do them. If he doesn't do them, where does that leave me? If, people don't show up in their word, what are we supposed to do with that? Other women flocking to our husbands, they have no boundaries. What are we supposed to do in that situation? If he doesn't defend me, what am I supposed to do in that situation? He doesn't come home on time, or he stays on his phone for too long, or he stays in the bathroom for too long, or he said he was going to be here at this time, but he got here at this time. So like, man, these are the things, aren't they? The day-to-day things that really get us in a shaky place. What are we supposed to do then? Yeah, one shared, even if someone tells me they love me, there was a song in the 90s about that. I was like, when I say I love you, it doesn't mean I'm going to leave you, whatever. It was a 90s R&B song. Who knows that song? Hesitant to fully trust my husband with my heart because of past hurts. With our hearts. It's a deep layer, isn't it? Just your heart. Yeah, I get it, Sarah. I love what you're sharing, Calvina. That's exactly the direction I'm going, girl. Okay, so it brings up trust issues when he's choosing other people over you, like choosing to hang out with other people over you, or choosing to like serve other people over you, that kind of thing. Or when he's not asking you what you want in a situation. Yeah, can I trust this person? Do they care about me? Yeah, man. So my intention in having us share these and in reading through some of these is that you feel validated, because guess what? Our human condition has us in a situation where we're not trusting. That's part of our human condition. Because people don't follow through. People are human. I'm human. In fact, there's probably people who don't trust me a lot, actually, on a regular basis. I'm like, tell me about your intimacy. And people are like, right? Maybe you're one of those people that I've messaged. I've said, hey, I would love to hold space for you. Tell me more. It's like, I can't tell you, man, one of my mentors just shared that she has had people burn her so deeply. Like, yeah, like, no wonder why you're guarded. No wonder. So then what are we to do? Okay. Have we built that up enough? Are we validated enough? We're all human. What are we then to do with trust? How can we actually step into deeper layers of trust? It's me and God or the universe. Number one, build that there. Start there and cling to that fiercely above all else. And nothing else matters. It literally doesn't matter. I don't trust the vaccine. I don't trust the people who created the vaccine. I don't trust COVID wasn't man-made. I don't trust the government. I don't trust the organizations. I don't trust any of that stuff. And yet I feel deeply embodied with trust, because I know how to listen from within, learn to trust myself, and I know where those messages are coming from. They're coming from God, coming from the universe. So I trust in here. I listen in here. I cling to this above all else. Above all else. And slowly over time, that has led me to bring my husband into this space. I could not even trust my husband, even if I wanted to. I could not have trusted him at all. Truly, not truly in my heart. Like I said, right? I would say, oh yeah, I trust you. Okay, I'm going to follow you. Okay, yeah, please lead in this situation. I'm so glad you're doing that. And then I would resent him. And then it would backfire on him. Right? Not anymore. Because I have this super strong. And I did get one question that came through about that was, how am I supposed to trust myself? Because when I follow what I think needs to happen, it brings up confrontation. Let me bring up this question specifically. And then we'll wrap this up today. How do I trust myself when the decisions I make bring up conflict? Okay, there is an art to listening to your own intuition and listening to your own desires. So sometimes we act out of an integrity with ourselves. So sometimes maybe you're making decisions based on what you think is the right choice, but not what you feel. And are you connected there? Only you know that, right? So then if that is creating havoc, well, then maybe you need to listen a little deeper. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know a lot of the specifics of this situation. Sometimes we do have this deep connection here. I know my yeses. I know when I get a yes. I know when I get a no. I also know the difference between my yeses, my nos, and my own worry and anxiety. That's a big one, right? It's like, wait, is this a no, or is this just me being super scared? I know the difference. Like, it's taking the time to experiment with God and yourself and study these out. What do my yeses feel like? Where do I feel them? In my gut, in my heart? What physically do I experience? Viscerally do I experience when I get a yes? What do I experience when I get a no? What do I experience when I am in anxiety or fear and I actually just want to sabotage myself? I have to know the difference between these things, right? So it's doing this work. Maybe you are super connected here and it's causing waves. And now you're going, well, wait a minute. Can I actually trust the answers that I receive? Go back and ask some more. Did I follow through in integrity with myself? Was I in alignment when I made this decision? Is there anything for me to clean up about what I did or what I said? And get those answers, right? All you have to do is keep going back to you. Keep going back to you. This is everything, you guys. I'm giving you everything. But here's what I can't give you. Consistency over time. I can only give you that in a coaching container. Does that make sense? Like that's why I hold a massive container for people to ground in to themselves, to their divine femininity, to their intimacy with their self, and into their beautiful sensuality with their partnership, right? I hold this container because really it's all about you going into you, but we need help with that. We have forgotten. There was a time when you knew you knew everything that you needed, that you wanted, that you were creating. You knew what your life was going to look like. And then you got born. You got born, you guys. When you got born, you forgot all of it. You forgot. And so rebuilding that connection, thinning out that veil that has gone over you when you got born. That sounds so funny. I don't know how else to say it, but thinning out that veil is everything. That is true intimacy. Seeing you, knowing your desires, knowing your purpose, knowing that voice, clinging to it. And there's not a better time to do that than now. Now is the time to do this. Making decisions for so long, wishing someone would jump in. I know that feeling. Man, I used to put off. So when I first started learning this connection piece, I would put off asking the question for sometimes years because I would just be like, it's easier for someone else to just tell me what to do. I just want somebody else to tell me what to do. And I catch myself now. I don't do that anymore. I catch myself. It's still like a knee-jerk reaction. I'm like, oh, I'm putting that off. All I need to do is sit down and ask, and I can get answers quickly to whatever I need. Whatever I need, it's all within me. It's all within you. It's all within you already. You are the vessel. So when people talk about, I don't make distinctions between receiving answers from God and receiving answers from my own intuition. They are one and the same, right? How do I hear God's voice? Well, I don't hear it with my ears. I hear it with my intuition. I feel it, right? So they are one and the same. You get to know you, you get to trust you get to know and trust God. You get to know and trust that channel. I don't feel like that's a mutually, that it doesn't work the other way around, because sometimes people get to know God, but it's an outside version of what God is. It's what someone else has told you God is. And then you try to make it work in here. And I don't think that it's not always quite the same. There's like some victim. It's kind of messy, if you know what I'm talking about. But when you go the other way, you listen here and confirm here and get to know God this way, you have all that you need right there within you. Okay. So showing up for myself consistently is so hard for me. Yep. Welcome to the planet. Welcome to the planet, right? It's everything. Honestly, I think this is why we're here, because as we learn to grow and we become more at one with our own voice, if it really is, as I say it is, we're becoming at one with our own voice, means we're also becoming at one with God. Is the same thing as bringing ourselves in alignment with God's will. It's the whole purpose why we're on the planet. So my friends, I know that you are a tough person. You've been through hard things. You've been through unimaginable, maybe even some unspeakable things. And I hold that in a sacred place in my heart because I've walked those places. Maybe not the exact places as you, but I've walked in some of those dark places. I know that trust is hard and scary, but do this now, because never was there a more important time. We can't trust our institutions. We can't trust our media. We can't trust our government, blah, 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 blah. But if we have this, can you see how that's everything? It is everything. And then as we do that work, we bring our husband in. We see him at deeper levels. I literally just this morning, we have a practice where my husband will say, I'm giving it all away today, you guys. We have a practice where my husband will say, can you tell me how you trust me? So this morning he's driving to work and he's like, I don't have time to talk, but can you do this for me today? Can you text me and tell me how you trust me? All the ways that you trust me. And I think this was the first time I've ever actually said this out loud. I said, I trust you with my body. I wrote in there, I trust you with my heart. I'm looking at my message right here. I trust you with my body. I don't know about you guys. For me, that feels even more sacred than my heart, because we've been taught that we can't trust anybody with our bodies. But it takes this work first. And if you want support in this, and you want those deeper layers of trust with yourself, with the universe, and with your partner, reach out to me. Let's get you on a quick 15-minute phone call. We'll explore what's next for you, what you need to access that next level. Okay, thanks, guys.